"More than we want to admit," Pirin replied. "The Great Fire and the Cataclysm pretty much passed them by, so they didn't have to rebuild and regroup like the rest of us." Blaine nodded. "And before that, King Merrill didn't want to deal with them, so his garrisons pushed them back toward the lesser kingdoms, out of sight, out of mind." "That's not going to work anymore," Pirin muttered. "Looks like they've decided to get a share of what's left." The last few days had shown Blaine just how big a problem the raiders had become. In good times, the raiders spread out in small bands linked by blood and marriage. They were fierce warriors, and a tribe with 20 or 30 warriors was something even a seasoned troop of soldiers dismissed at their own peril. But now, united by hardship over the last year since the Cataclysm, the bands had gathered into larger tribes, thousands strong, fighting with desperation that came from scarce food and scant resources. Waves of attacks had worn down the soldiers commanded by sibling warlords Rinka and Tormod Solvig. With more raiders massing for another assault, the Solvigs had called on the alliance Blaine had pieced together months before, requesting help from Blaine's army and from that of Bergen Werner, the third warlord ally. "They've retreated," Pirin observed, shading his eyes and looking toward the horizon. The raiders had withdrawn, and their warlords' armies were under orders to pursue only so far, to keep the raiders from drawing them into an ambush. "They'll be back," Blaine replied. "You heard what Borya said. The raiders actually don't have a word for retreat. Their honor won't let them leave until they're victorious or dead." Pirin shrugged. "We can take care of that for them." Despite Pirin's bravado, they both knew it would not be that easy. Still, when Blaine had rallied a third of his army and come to the Solvik's aid, he had a plan in mind. Now that blood had been shed, and they were in the thick of things, he hoped his plan worked. "How sure are you about what Borya and Desya told us about the raiders?" Pirin asked, giving Blaine a questioning glance. "They're our best source, since they've travelled all over the Western Plains," Blaine replied. "If they're right, and it's possible to strike an accord, we'll all be better off. We've got better things to do than fight." "You saw how the nomads came at us," Pirin protested. "And they've been attacking the Solvik's forces for a month. Do you really think they'll even entertain the idea of an accord? And how would we believe them if they did?" Blaine shrugged. "I guess we're going to find out." The battle was done except for the looting. Kestrel picked her way among the enemy dead, finding few items worth taking except for their well-forged swords. She and some of the other soldiers scavenged what they could find, making a pile at the edge of the battlefield. The Cataclysm had brought Donderath's mining to a halt, and until more peaceful and prosperous times made it likely to restart, metal was at a premium. The nomads were known for their metalwork, and their sword blades were true, sharp, and strong. They were prized spoils of war. "I saved the nicest two for us," Kestrel said, sauntering up to Blaine and Pirin with a couple of still bloody swords. "Very considerate of you," Blaine replied. Kestrel shrugged with the hint of a tired, mischievous smile. "One of the perks of being on the victorious side," she said. "Begging your pardon, sir. What do you want us to do with the bodies, my lord?" Captain Warren, one of Blaine's commanders, gave a nod in acknowledgement to Pirin and Kestrel and waited for orders. Blaine sighed. "If our intelligence is correct, those bodies are a bargaining chip," he said. "Make sure they're treated with respect, and covered to keep the birds away. Bring our own men back behind our lines, and bury them the best you can." He paused. "As for the villagers, gather them up and burn a house down over them." "Aye, sir." Captain Warren turned and began shouting orders to his men as he walked away. "I hate this part."